I hate you. Right off the bat with some woo-hoos.
I did the woo-hoo because I know you hate it. I said, fuck it.
You're not wrong.
I'm going to do what I want.
I definitely hate it.
This is America.
You're right. This is America, though. So just fucking woo-hoo. Yeah, give it another one. Give it another one.
Woo-hoo!
All right. I thought I would enjoy that more after I recognized that it was American freedom, all that, but I still hated it. It turns out I still hate it.
It's America.
Anyway, don't do it ever again.
Hey, welcome one and all. It's beautiful Sunday afternoon. Rainy.
It's shitty outside. I just sat outside and watched Kane's first flag football game, and it was rainy and cold, and he has no fucking clue what to do yet. But we'll get there.
His first flag football game?
Yeah.
I thought he had one last week.
Nah, this is the first week he's played. He was coming off surgery, big surgery. So he sat out for 2 weeks. Big ACL surgery. Got those knees reconstructed.
Yeah, Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, Tommy John. He's been throwing in the 90s. It's now down to the low 80s, but he'll be fine.
Yeah, a couple more years. He'll be fine.
8-year-olds throwing in the 80s. It's rare, but he's a rare kid.
Hey, speaking of sports, I'm not thrilled with our draft picks.
I got to talk you into liking it, huh? Should we get to sports right away?
Well, here's
First 5 minutes, we talking sports?
We'll get it over with.
All right, yeah.
And then we'll get to the dick stuff.
Okay. Well, we don't have to go there either, but
I was okay with our defensive end, first pick. I was okay there.
Myles Murphy. Here's the only reason I wasn't cool with Myles Murphy. I grew up and there was a kid behind me by the name of Myles Murphy. So when I hear that name, I think about the kid that lived behind me and the fact that he had a Sega and I didn't, and I don't really like him. He was a real preppy kid, like a real Zach Morris type, I'm the dirty skater, skater type. No, I wasn't the Screech. I was the dirtbag that wasn't even on the show. Saved by the Bell didn't have my category. I don't know why. No. You'd think they would. Why didn't they have stoners?
Because it was Bayside, man.
There's no stoners in Bayside?
No, there's no stoners at Bayside.
Oh.
It was just fucking... And fucking Lisa Turtle was, she was as prim and proper as Zach Morris was.
Well, yeah, all of them in that group were preppy, but outside of the group, sometimes you would have some other characters, and they never did have anything besides other little preppy kids. You're right. What a fucking weird show.
It's Bayside. Man.
But Screech had a fucking hog on him from what I heard.
No, that was fake. It was admitted later.
Stunt cock!
That was not him in the porn.
Really? But I heard he still had a hog.
Well, if he had a hog, why wouldn't he do the porn himself?
I don't know. Maybe he was scared.
I'm saying Screech did not have a big dick.
That sucks. I was really hoping at least he had that going for him. What were we talking about? The draft. We got the Screech's dick off the draft.
I didn't mind Myles Murphy. I was okay with it. It wouldn't have been my first pick.
Who's your pick right there?
Wow.
I mean, in the moment, my pick would have been Michael Mayer, the tight end out of Notre Dame. In the moment,
would have made Nate really unhappy.
That would have made. Who gives a shit about Nate? That's what we did have the inside track on that, and we heard
he was there.
We heard. No, I'm saying we got the inside track of why he fell to the second round. He was going to do really good, but then everybody found out his dad is a giant fucking cocksucker, and not by the kind that actually sucks cock, but the kind that's just a fucking asshole. And he dropped. He dropped to the second round because of his cunt dad. That's what we heard. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but our inside source, which is, the guy that lives up the street that has a beard and dirty hairy back.
Fucking assholes. Hey, Mike, you owe my kid this. There's a million of them. But let's just throw out one name, Lonzo Ball.
And look at the balls. They all fell because of the shitty dad.
Melo's still...
They're doing all right, but they would have been doing better if he wasn't around.
Yeah, I
agree.
That's
why they fell. That's what our inside sources here at Shut Up Cincinnati.
Well, Michael Mayer would have been my pick there.
Yeah, well,
but because I've said it so much, we need a tight end really bad, really bad, or even that second one that I liked, that other tight end, what's his name, Carpio, whatever the fuck.
You suck at this game because you never remember their names. Anyways.
There was a lot of good tight ends out there.
Yeah, they never took one.
We didn't take one.
The Bengals are in that position right now.
And then we grabbed a safety and a cornerback.
A safety and a cornerback?
We grabbed them both. Next two picks.
No, we went cornerback, but then safety. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
The whole point is, I have no problem with having some depth there. Mm-hmm. But we have needs in other places that we didn't get. Needs. We have needs.
We don't have huge needs.
We have linebacker needs, in my opinion, and we have tight end needs.
How do we have linebacker needs?
And I wouldn't have minded a little bit better of an offensive lineman than we got.
Then who?
I am not unhappy with Chase out of in Illinois. That kid's a hell of a running back. But just this morning, a big fucking press conference says, no, Joe Mixon's our guy.
Joe Mixon's our guy. That's what they've decided. All right. This is how I look at the Bengals draft in general. And they did this last year too. they're in the position to draft for the future. And what they're doing is they know that they have to pay Higgins, Burrow, Chase, and Logan Wilson. Those are the 4 that they know they need to keep on the books because they're good.
And we're paying $12 million to Mixon.
These are people we got to pay next year. So Mixon is if you can get rid of his money now and work to re-sign them before the season, but you don't need to do that. These guys are all under contract. Even Burrow's under contract for another year after next season.
Right.
So you don't technically have to do this right now. Mixon is a luxury at this point. If you cut him, cool. I got a feeling Mixon has already agreed to a pay cut, and they're just not going to announce it till after June 2nd or whatever that date is. I have a feeling that is the case. That Mixon agreed to a pay cut, and you're keeping Mixon.
Well, it seemed to me there was definitely not a whole lot of interest in the NFL about obtaining Mixon.
And as far as the tight end, I have a feeling that they really like Irv Smith Jr. And when Irv Smith Jr. came out, he was a giant prospect. I mean, that's a first-round prospect that I remember when he was getting drafted. I was hoping the Bengals would draft him then. So and he's never really shown in the NFL.
Didn't give him a lot of
that's
looks,
what I mean is he wasn't in the offense that can really give him the touches that he would need, and he had injury problems. So I think they're thinking if Irv stays healthy, that they don't really need a tight end. Now, they would have took a tight end, I think, if the ones they wanted were available. I think Michael Mayer may have been a little bit
available.
Not in their draft grades.
I got you.
All right. They had Miles Murphy rated as a top 10 pick. All right. And that's what the Bengals were thinking. So when he fell to them, yeah, sure, they would have liked Mayer. They would have liked this, but they would rather do Murphy. And the thing with him is you take him now because Hubbard and Hendrickson have decent-sized contracts. Yeah. But if you can get rid of a Hendrickson's contract and replace him with a player that's similar, now you got the money to pay Burrow. Now you have the money to pay Higgins. That's a $17.5 million that they won't be on the line for in 2024 if this kid works out. So I think that's what they're thinking.
I would rather have a Hendrickson than a Hubbard at this point.
Sure, but you have to go by the contracts. You're at the luxury of or not at the luxury, but you just basically have to go with who you can expend without losing the least amount of money.
Right.
And Hendrickson is a great contract, but he's owed $17.5 million next year.
Yeah, I know.
And that's $17.5 that you might not have to pay him. And that's not this year, that's next year. So,
and Miles Murphy, I know why they took Miles Murphy, because they didn't expect him to be there. And then we got, oh my God, he's here, and this is fucking insane pass rusher.
Get up to you need to fucking get close to your microphone. I had people bitching about that last week, by the way.
Fuck people.
Well, no, it drives me crazy too, because you sound like a pussy from far away, and your voice, the bass disappears, And I know you're not a pussy. You got a little bass in your voice. So.
My whole point is they didn't think he was going to be there. He probably shouldn't have been there.
No.
They had no choice but to take him. I get it.
Well, the cornerback, after this year, you don't have a cornerback. Cornerback, I think, was very important. I actually thought they'd go in the first round with that, and I was hoping Deonte Banks would fall to him, and he almost did.
He was 4 picks
away. That's what I mean, and that would have been a steal, too, if we could have got that. So I don't blame the cornerback. They got a guy from Michigan that is the fastest guy in the draft. All right. He's out of Michigan. He's played with Dax Hill, so they already got some continuity there, which I think is super important. I love what Philadelphia did in this draft and when it got all those Georgia players, because now you got a whole team that's played together.
Philadelphia had 14 picks in the first 3 rounds.
Well, I'm just saying they went out and got a bunch of people from the same defense.
They did.
So you got a defense. It's kind of like how the Bengals did with Burrow and Chase. You got people that have built chemistry for years, and you're bringing that into the NFL. You kind of got that with the Bengals this year. They brought that guy in from Michigan who's played with Dax Hill, so now you got some continuity there. He's probably not – he don't have to start this year, but – again, Awuzie's on the last year of his contract. You slide him in. Now you got Cam Taylor-Britt and this rookie both as your starting corners. You got all rookie tight ends or second-year or not tight ends, safeties. Your defense is going to be cheap for like 5 years at this point, so now you can afford to pay that offense. I think that's what the Bengals are doing. You can't.
They're going to be cheap unless they give up 28 points a game.
And again,
they're not cheap.
You can keep Mixon this year, and you can groom the fifth round pick out of Illinois, and he can take over next year when you really got to start paying out the big money to the other guys.
I'm just a firm believer that
I'm not a big fan of Mixon.
You can't put two. I don't like Mixon anymore. Yeah. I'm a believer that you can't put too many young guys on the fucking defense, on the starting defense. I'm a believer because that's just harder that Mixon and Burrow and Chase are going to have to work when these guys are giving up point after point.
But that's the thing is you're not starting them this year. Everybody they got is a backup being groomed to be a starter later.
I know.
So you got right now you have the veterans on defense can get these guys in a position to be able to take over when their contract's in. Now they take over and your offense is still fucking stacked. And now you got a defense 2-3 years in, have a little bit of experience that's fast as fuck. We're going to have one of the fastest defenses in the league, especially the defensive backs.
The backs are fast. Yeah.
They're ridiculously fast. I don't know why. What's your concern at linebacker with the Bengals? They
Well,
just signed Jermaine Pratt, who had a great year last year.
I'm happy with
and
Pratt,
Logan
and I'm happy
Wilson's
with
a stud.
Logan Wilson. I don't think we have
Much after that.
no,
We have Akeem.
and I don't think we have a stereotypical outside monster type back like a Lawrence Taylor that can roam the field and do.
They
what
don't
he
make
wants.
those anymore. The linebacker has lost value. The linebacker in the NFL nowadays is like the running back.
You're right.
They've kind of lost value because they're kind of interchangeable, a lot more interchangeable than they used to be.
But I still like to have one. I like to have a linebacker who's capable, really, if need be, of covering a slot receiver and not just a tight end or a running back out of the backfield.
Well, you're not going to have many. But that's the thing is Logan Wilson is that linebacker kind of. He has a really good rating for coverage.
He's got speed. But Pratt's the guy in the middle. He's a hole plugger.
I don't know. I think we're good with linebacker. I think we're good on defensive line now. I'm really happy with.
I think our
defense.
secondary is pretty deep.
Does the tight end situation worry me? Yes, but I guess that's what they decided to go with.
Irv Smith isn't old.
No.
He's a young guy, and he wasn't utilized by Kirk Cousins at all. I get it. He was mostly a blocking back there.
I just think the Bengals are drafting in a way that's going to keep them good for years. And I think that's super important. I think teams like the Bengals, and in the past, teams like the Patriots, teams that are really good have to draft like this in order to afford the good players on their team that have made them good to begin with. They have to nail the drafts, and that's not always taking the trying to plug a hole. Like if I need a tight end, I need a tight end, then the tight end comes up and he's ranked 64, but you got a cornerback ranked in your 30. You know, you might not need a cornerback now, but you're always going to need him. So why wouldn't you take that cornerback?
But look what happens. Just prime example.
If Dalton
Kansas
Kincaid
City
fell to them, they would have took him.
Okay, but Kansas City,
I just
Tampa
think Mara
Bay,
didn't fit their
when
offense.
you got a tight end with the capability of a Kelsey or a Gronk or a blah, 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 it prevents them from being able to double team your receivers every fucking play.
Yeah.
It prevents it. We don't have that.
No.
So we're going to have two guys on Chase every fucking time he walks off the fucking field.
But that's fine. That's why you got Higgins. And that receiver they got is supposed to be a stud too. The one.
Yeah, he's fast.
Yeah, he's super fast. I think he might end up being Burrow's version of your Wes Welker type. I think he's going to be that underneath receiver that, apparently he can just he doesn't miss. And he can get open. I'm looking forward to him.
In the next couple years, he'll be the Tyler Boyd.
That's Boyd's replacement. Again, they're getting people to replace the aging veterans that they can't afford to keep on paying. The Bengals, if you've noticed, do not pay that second contract out the dudes. They pay the first contract. Once you get to 30, the Bengals are like, all right, we're going younger. Thank you. And they move on. I mean, I think Burrow will be that exception, obviously. And we'll see where the receivers are at that point. Is Chase still going to be good when he's 30? Who fucking knows? Hey, another thing about Myles Murphy, he's 21 years old. Dude is young as fuck. He could grow into be a real stud. So who knows there? I don't know. Overall, I was happy with the Bengals.
I'm happy with the pass rush.
The draft. The Bengals being good makes the draft less exciting, if that makes sense, because they're not really looking for that star player at this point. Now they're just looking to keep the team good.
Right.
So a lot of times that's more picking for the future
what I'm
than
saying
it is the
now
present.
our secondary is real deep.
Yeah.
In other areas, we got our starters, and that's it. Mm-hmm. And I would prefer a little depth spread around a little bit.
You can't have depth everywhere, though.
Not everywhere.
I mean?
I'm saying spread around a little bit.
Yeah.
After our two linebackers that we just talked about, we don't have another one.
The Davis Gaither or whatever isn't bad. Marcus Bailey's all right. You just kick that and kick the camera completely off of me. Can you fix that? You fucking floppy bitch. There you go. That's fine.
Davis Gaither's okay at best.
I was cool with the draft. That's all I care about. This is 15 minutes.
Well,
in.
you put your little fucking your little wish list up, and not one of those guys got fucking taken.
Myles Murphy was on my wish list.
Was he?
Yeah. He was on my now second and third round. Yeah, none of them got taken.
Not one.
That was upsetting. Yeah, they didn't get what I did, but the thing is I'm me. I don't know shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I see some players that look
but
exciting to me, but I don't know a football system inside and out like these guys do. I just look at Duke Tobin and I see how he's plugged holes in the last 4 or 5 years and see how well he's done, and I just kind of trust the process right now. And after they explain why they got him or what they see in him that they like, and then you read other people's analysis of it, you can convince me if it's good or bad. And they've done a good job this year to convince me that it was a good draft.
Well, like I said, our offense is stacked. We know that. I
I would have loved a tight end.
Another quick, a tight end is really what I want.
But I get not getting Mayer after I read more about him. He just doesn't fit their system. I mean, that guy would be good in like a Dallas offense or a Philadelphia run-first offense. He'd be great because he's a great blocker and he can catch, but he's not like a stretch-to-field kind of guy.
Yeah,
now, Dalton Kincaid, if he was available, they would have took him. But he got taken maybe like 5 picks before that. He fit their offense, and I think they would have took Laporta in round 2.
Laporta, yeah.
But again, he was gone by the time it was round 2. That big dude that everybody was talking about in Georgia apparently has knee problems. He's like 6'7", 300-something pounds. He's not the... If you already got knee problems that young and you're that big, that's probably not a great thing.
And he's chubby.
And they said he really didn't produce in Georgia. He was more of a blocking tight end, and if that's all you're looking for, cool. But I don't think the Bengals were looking for that. I think they want someone that can stretch the field a little bit.
Because Georgia had the same offense essentially as we have. He didn't fit in there. He was a blocker. That's all.
Exactly. Well, that in Georgia had that fucking that stud on their team too, and I forget his name right now. He didn't come out in the draft this year, but he's the number 1 tight end in the whole league.
Oh yeah.
So they had the best tight end in college football there. So that's also why he didn't get as much. But when he got the chances, he really didn't prove much. Outside the fact that he's big and fast, there's nothing else about the guy. So you're going on just on size, and that's cool and everything, but I'm going to trust the guy that's put together a good team to go with the fact that he thought that didn't fit his team.
How many fucking draft picks did the fucking Browns give up? I think I saw their name once.
I don't think the Browns get the draft anymore. I mean, they got
their first pick was in the late 2nd round.
You got to give up a lot for Uncle Touchy, man.
You do.
He's going to come to town.
And where did Philly get all their fucking picks? Who did they give up to get so many fucking picks? They were in the fucking Super Bowl, dude.
Philly, where did they get their picks from?
They got a lot of them. They got picks like the Jets got them last year.
Well, Carson Wentz got them some picks. That's like some shit that happened years ago, but they're still getting the picks. I forget all the picks they got. There was a couple things they did where they, either way, they did get a lot, and they fucking used it well. Philadelphia is going to be good this year. Not that they were bad last year.
Philadelphia is going to be real good this year.
But speaking of Deshaun Watson, he was known for going to the old massage parlors and getting a rub and tug.
He was. He didn't get the tug. He tried to get the tug. Most of the time, he was going to real massage parlors. He was going to like fucking salons, Mitchell's and shit to get a massage.
Well, tell us where he went wrong there, Captain.
Well, I'll tell you where he went wrong. I visited my first rub and tug.
That's what I was trying to get into it.
I've always wanted to, and I said it on the show. I just wanted to experience it.
Vern's pissed, and he's going to tell us about it later too, guys, so stay tuned.
I just wanted to experience it.
Yeah.
And, I don't go to hookers. I just don't, even though there's nothing wrong with them. I just don't go to hookers.
Yeah, it's just not your thing.
And I'm certainly not going to, on the average, pay for a hand job. I wanted the experience of going to a rub and tug. So there's 3 right by my house. So I literally drove by all 3 a dozen times going, ooh, that one looks like I can get arrested in there. Ooh, that one looks shady. Ooh, blah, blah, blah.
So you're saying there's 3 by your house. Do you mean that there's 3 that you know are rub and tugs? Like, how do you know they're rub and tugs? Or they're just 3 masseuse parlors?
Asian massage. And they've all got the same signs.
I don't think every Asian massage parlor gives rub and tugs, though. Do you? I don't know. I think
they do.
I've never gone to a massage artist or whatever they call themselves, a masseuse.
I think 90%
on it. But they're not going to like the local corporate-owned masseuse. They're not rub and tugs, but you're saying just the ones that say Asian massage parlor,
right?
Are typically
those are typical rub and tugs. So I wanted to experience, and I was figuring to myself, well, hey, I'll get a decent massage for cheap because their massage is only $40.
Well, you're hoping it's decent.
Yeah.
Either way, you know you're going to come.
I select one, and I decide I'm going to go in, and I pull up to the fucking front, and let me tell you something. I felt really fucking weird just being there. I'm like, I'm going to walk in there and there's going to be like a lobby full of people I know. Hey, this guy went to, my kid went to high school with his kid. And I was freaking out, But it wasn't like that. You walk in and there's a door on each side. You just walk into a wall.
Yeah.
There's a door on each side and this bell goes off when you open the door.
The jerk-off bell.
And it says right there, big sign says just wait here. Okay? So about 30 seconds later, one of the doors opens. Little Chinese girl.
How do you know?
Huh?
How do you know she's Chinese?
Well, she looks Chinese.
She tell her name started with a Z or an X?
No, she gave no names. There's no fucking names. No. So come in here. How long you want? Do you want 40 minutes, half hour? I said, yeah, just give me a half hour. She said, okay, $40. Right up front, $40. Mm-hmm. Boom. Give her the $40. In the room is a massage table.
Come down.
Looks clean. There's a radio, and there's this one of those little fucking tranquility fountains that's it's supposed to relax you. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Sounds relaxing.
I take my clothes off, except my underwear. I leave my underwear on, and I lay on the bed. There's a hole in it, like in the fucking massage movies. So all of a sudden she comes in, she goes, "You ready?" Or she says it from outside the curtain. That was my first fucking thing I didn't like. There was no door, just a fucking curtain. So you can hear everything that was going on out there. Now, I didn't hear any other guys in there. I didn't hear any other guys in there. I didn't hear any other people in there. No talking or anything.
How many people are moaning when they get jerked off? I think that's a freaky
didn't.
thing. Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't think that's like a normal thing anyways. I hope it is. I really hope it is. I hope you sitting in there and there's somebody going,
But I'm thinking that if those women are willing to jerk you off, if you pay enough, they're probably willing to fuck you too. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking.
That's what I think.
Okay, so like I said, I'm going in for the experience this time. And so I'm laying down there, and she comes walking in. She goes, "Oh, you ready?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she first thing she does is puts her finger inside the waistband of my underwear and snaps them. Mm-hmm. "You take off." Okay, so I take them off. She goes, "You want hard or medium?" Scarf for the accent. But
Can you say no? Because I'm personally me who's not going to get jerked off. I also don't want her to see my flabby ass. I'm just keeping my underwear on.
You could say no.
And if she say take it off, I'm saying no, bitch. Keep my underwear on. You're not touching that part anyways.
Well, at this part, I think
I wouldn't have called her a bitch.
The way I think things work is that $40 you give her goes to the house, and then anything she gets out of you, she gets to keep. So anyway.
So you don't think she gets an hourly?
No.
Really? You think this bitch just literally does not get paid unless she jerks you off?
I think most of those places are full of related people.
But they don't get paid?
Well, you might
They just
get
work
a little
all day,
something.
get free fucking massages all day unless you rub and tug a fella? I thought that was just the only way they were going to make extra money.
Well, but
outside of a regular tip.
Let me finish the story and you'll understand a little bit.
Okay, I'm just,
So
God, we
she
need
said,
one of
"Do you
these."
want hard, medium, or soft?" And I said, "Well, I don't want to go with hard. Let's just go medium." So then she covers me with this sheet from like the middle of my back to my knees. And she just starts giving me a massage. Now, it's obvious that this woman had no professional training or anything, but still felt really fucking good.
Yeah, massage is a massage for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, she's getting in there.
I understand
she's
medical
doing all
massage
this
and everything.
and blah, blah, blah. And she's doing everything, and she hasn't touched anything. She's doing the back, the neck, the shoulders.
So
she's
you
doing
say
the ass.
a cover, you're covered, so there's a cover in between the touch.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So she's grinding.
Is that normal?
I don't know.
I don't either.
I'm not a massage enthusiast.
Yeah.
So she's doing my ass, back, everything, and it's feeling really good. I'm like, this is worth $40. And all of a sudden, the sheet comes off. About 20 minutes into it, the sheet comes off. She's rubbing my legs, my ass, and then all of a sudden, here's the crack of my ass. The fingers just slide up the middle of the crack. Okay?
Yeah.
Looking for a reaction, I'm sure. So I gave her one.
You gave
I gave her a little moan.
You gave it
Basically, from what people have told me about those things, is you have to let them know that it's okay.
You gave it
I gave
That's
her a
funny
moan,
because I just can't see it. You were saying that you didn't hear anything from the other rooms.
I gave her a very small
So that
There was music in the radio. No, the rooms are, one here, 20 feet later, there's another
so
one.
they'd
You're
have to be a
not
screamer
you're not
for
on
you to
top
hear.
of
All right, okay.
So anyway, she rubs between the crack of my ass. Then she's doing the legs, and finger rubs up against my nuts. Oh, sorry, she say. So then she keeps rubbing. Next thing you know, the finger's sliding up and down the nuts. It's going more in the crack. And she said, "This okay?"
That's okay.
I said, "That okay?"
That's
so she's going like
perfectly
this.
okay.
So
lady.
she's rubbing the legs, but she doesn't stay on the dick or nuts or anything. She goes back to the legs and rubs up there. I think maybe they're waiting for you to get hard. I don't know.
Yeah.
So after about 5 minutes of the butt area, she goes, "Ooh, you want wet towel? Hot towel?" I'm like, "Yeah." I thought I was done. Mm-hmm. Okay, because she had oils and lotions on me and whatnot. So then she said, roll over. And she goes and she comes back with this wet towel and she puts it on my chest and rubs right up against my dick. Points at it and goes, "You want me massagey?" And points to the dick. I'm like, "Yeah." So she
massage me cock.
So she goes around this little thing and on her little table and picks up this bottle of oil like this and literally just fucking hoses.
You said
my
it was
dick.
like in like a ketchup jar.
It looked like a ketchup
Like when
bottle.
you be at the local diner and they had the
Like
red
the red one.
envelope
Yeah, that's
with
what
the
it looked
top cut
like.
off
Except
and
it
you
was
just-
clear. And so basically, she squirts it on
That's
my
surgical, dude. I like that.
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah.
She reaches under. She's playing with the nuts. She's playing with the ass crack, and all of a sudden, she just starts a stroking. And
she two-handed it?
Two-handed it.
All right, nice.
And fucking looking at it, like concentrating.
Staring at it. Make sure the snake didn't bite.
And she's just going to town, and I'm fucking like this, I'm just relaxing.
Greatest moment of my life.
And all of a sudden, I'm like, all right, this is going to happen. I come. It's just going down her arm and fucking her hand and all that. And she's just milking the fucker. Milking it.
Did you shoot normal or shoot more than normal because it's an exciting moment?
It shot about 6-8 inches in the air. So she went,
She gave it a little giggle?
Yeah, she gave it a little giggle. So then when I was done nutting, she milked out every drop and leaves the room, comes back with this wet, soapy towel and just cleans me off. Best part of the fucking experience.
All right.
Cleans me off, blah, blah, blah. She said, thank you. I said, sure. So she leaves. I get dressed. She comes back in. She's obviously standing there waiting for the tip. I didn't know how much to tip. I don't know. I know a guy that went in there. He said like 40 is standard, but he only gives 20 and gets a funny look usually when he does.
Cheap motherfucker.
So I said, I'm going in the middle. I pull out $30. I'm like,
let's hold back for 1 second and rip on this motherfucker. He said, knowing damn well 40 is standard. That means that's the standard. That's like going to the restaurant and saying 20%. That's the standard. I know it's 20% and I tip 20%. He's saying, I know it's 40% or $40 and he tips 20, half. That's the 10% tipper at the restaurant.
Yeah.
That's the fucking asshole.
I met in the middle. I pulled out 30.
He works for tips.
Because this guy, basically, I've been told by him and another guy.
You're an asshole.
That
you heard the standard was 40
more,
and you
they
went
will
30.
basically let you know, hey, more.
Okay.
Blah, blah, blah. So I pulled out 30 and I handed it to her. She gave me a smile,
Yeah.
a little hug, and said, thank you.
Okay. Well, yeah.
So I'm like, that's cool.
You're on the west side.
And now I'm like, okay, now I've got to walk out this building facing the street. Who's driving by? You know what I mean? Who's going to see me coming out of this fucking thing? Yeah.
You just told the story on a fucking podcast that's going to be available for anyone on the internet to see, and you were worried about someone driving by and seeing yourself walk out?
Well, no. The people I'm worried about aren't listening to the podcast.
That's not going to make any sense. No matter what you say, that's not going to make any fucking sense. Well, you thought your fucking auntie was going to drive by?
Well, no, I thought maybe...
They're in buttfuck Ohio. They ain't driving by the West Side massage parlors.
I don't know. But either way, I ended up spending $70 in there.
All right.
Got a halfway decent massage and a hand job.
Yeah.
Worth the money to me.
Are you a returning customer?
No, because I'm just not going to give you $30 for a hand job.
Yeah.
I loved.
Just not going to give you $30.
I loved the massage.
But as you said, the massage was decent, and if you go to a regular masseuse,
it was decent for $40.
Okay,
it was decent for $40.
Decent for the money. That's different.
That extra $30 on the end of it.
Yeah.
I jerked myself off. It felt the same, except I don't use a fucking tub of oil.
I don't got the ketchup bottle full of lube.
I don't have that. And am I glad I went? Yeah.
I'm not a two-hander either.
Oh no, she was.
No, I'm saying if I'm jerking myself off, I'm not.
Oh no, I'm quick.
And I'm definitely not looking at it.
But I definitely tried to hold the nut back a little bit. I'm like, I'm going to get the full experience. Yeah. And she's just
talk her into edging you.
Well, I was just
five extra if you edge.
You know what I actually thought about? Wonder how it would go if I just grabbed the back of her head and pushed it down.
Oh,
hey, suck it instead.
Yeah, I wonder if there can be a price.
I'm sure there's a price.
Yeah, I wonder how you communicate that though.
I don't know, but I knocked it off my bucket list.
Yeah, your bucket list.
Got a decent massage. I felt pretty good when I left there, and I got whacked off.
Yeah.
So
that sounds like a win.
It was a win. So my first Asian massage parlor, probably my last, but my first, I give it 2 thumbs up.
Now, see, I would
and
think...
she was not unattractive. She was a very attractive younger woman. She was probably 35, 36, attractive.
The person that goes back over and over again to the same place to get jerked off for $70 is kind of weird to me. But the person that now continues the journey and goes to many different ones to see the variety, just to see if it happens sometimes for that thrill, I can understand that. I can understand chasing the thrill like, oh, I went to that one. Now let's see if this one has, and let's see what their You know what I mean? Like what they charge, if they're better at it, if it's a better looking girl, oh, maybe it's a fucking pig. That could be fun too.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. I understand the chase being something I could get into, but actually going back and forth to the same customer or to the same place, that's a little weird to me.
The things that were weird to me, and this girl,
if it's your thing, go for it.
Girl was actually pretty cool. She was like laughing and blah, blah, blah. Didn't understand one fucking word of it.
That's another thing, man. I would love to have one of these ladies on the show. You know, that tells about the experience, tells about anyone that got super creepy
without
about
a translator.
Well, that's what I mean. You have to
All
find
she knew was how long, hard, soft.
I thought you said you faked a 5 to her at first. That made me laugh.
Faked a 5. Oh, yeah, I pulled out a 5 as a joke, and then she's like...
I wonder what would happen if you gave her the 5.
Yeah, I pulled out I went like this with a 5, pulled it out, and she kind of looked at it and then rolled her eyes, and then I pulled out the...
Did she ask if you were going to tip before she jerked or after?
After.
After, man. See, I'd have the hard hustle before the jerk, just to make sure.
Oh, no, there was no discussion of money after.
Well, I know, but before you got the lube, basically. That's what I would mean. Like, if I'm the jerker in this situation, old fucking JJ Jerk Job was in the back giving jerk jobs all night, I'm going to, allude to the fact that I offer one like she did. But then as soon as you basically approve it, you tip. That's what I'm asking. Because if they're not tipping, me not jerking. You know what I mean? So, like, that seems like, and at that point, what are you going to get mad that she hard hustled a jerk job and, like, go give her a bad Yelp review?
Well, the funny thing is, you could technically tip nothing and say, bye, thank you.
That's what I mean. That's why I'd at least, and even then you could say, I'm going to tip you, and after then go, gotcha, jerks on you, and then walk out the door. You're right, but that's probably less going to happen than if you ask. And they say no.
Yeah, there was no discussion of money prior.
Yeah, there has to be a discussion, man. You need.
Yeah, when I whipped out the 5, she looked at it and rolled her eyes because she was eyeballing my wallet when I pulled it out, and then I pulled out 25 more. And there you go. And she, thank you, blah blah blah. But it was funny. She was pleasant. I mean, she wasn't. It wasn't like, fucking assembly line or anything. She was trying to make small talk in her broken English and. And when I jerked off, when I fucking busted the nut, she went, oh. It wasn't uncomfortable as I thought it would be. It was uncomfortable as fuck until she covered me with the sheet and started rubbing me. I'm like, hey, this is a real fucking massage I'm getting here. I thought, honestly, what I expected in there is to go in there, have her basically do this on my back for about 30 seconds and then go, you want that? You know what I mean?
You thought it was going to be a
let's get to the jerk up. It wasn't. Yeah. Wasn't bad at all. So, like I said, 2 thumbs up. Actually, we're going to give it 2.5 boners on the scale.
Yeah, we need to get more people in here with Rub and Tug experience there because I got a feeling not all of them go this smoothly.
I was not fully erect.
Oh, really?
I was 3/4.
Really?
But I knew it wasn't going anywhere else. And that's where I told you, if a girl wants to come over and blow me and says that's it, I'm probably going to say no because I need the puss.
Me and Nate discussed this. We don't believe you.
Well, I don't really give a fuck what you and Nate believe. I think it's a waste of my time for you to come over and blow me. I need puss if I'm going to be doing it.
I need puss. All right, we got to get to these because we got a bunch.
Okay.
Which is weird, but we got a bunch.
I'm digging it.
Email. Hey guys, that's right. We got some motherfucking emails, which we've never really get. If you're watching the show right now, though, you can always email us at shutupcincinnati@gmail.com. I got the little thing there to remind you at the bottom of the screen. If you're listening, don't be a fucking idiot. Just put at gmail.com at the end of our name. Shutupcincinnati@gmail.com. It's not a hard concept, you idiots. Maybe not insult them though right before I ask for things. That's always the bad thing I do. I think
the tampon should dance a little.
I don't have that kind of skill.
Dancing tampon.
All right. Well, we've talked a lot about sports the last 2 weeks because of the NFL draft, and it's pissed off one of our regular listeners. So old Vernon Schillinger from jail wrote us once again. You motherfuckers. I just got out of the hole and caught up on your shows. What the fuck? I'm sure Chris had to hide his hard-on with all that ass play talk from that Fruit Loop a couple weeks ago. I am far from a racist. I hate everyone, especially you two self-serving, hating white fucks. You two clowns side with blacks no matter what. All races are assholes. Get a clue. Next, I love sports. I don't like listening to you two unathletic, fat, sloppy fucks act like they know what they're talking about. It's Wednesday the 26th, and book it, the Bengals are trading their first-round pick. You fucked that one up, Vern, you dumb cunts.
Dumbass.
Anyways. Third, I know you have family in the trans community. I'm not going to shit on your kid. I'm not that low. I honestly hope your kid is happy and lives the best life they possibly can. My question is, what is your take on men transitioning to women to play sports? Should a trans woman be able to compete in women's division in the UFC? All right, we'll get to these questions in a second. Last but certainly not least, you two State Puff Marshmallow Man looking motherfuckers can kindly fuck off now. Regards, Vern. So, yeah, he just ended by calling us fat again.
At least he said regards.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't know. You're not that fat. I'm losing weight. Dude, I'm the skinniest I've been since 2014.
And I'm not that fat.
Which is still fat, but it's been a long time since I've been this fucking
Maybe
not fat.
Vern's listening instead of watching. He doesn't see that we've shrunk down.
Yeah, you know what I mean? He probably doesn't have good internet access.
No, he probably got
the hole and shit. As far as you're wrong about the Bengals pick, you idiot. And the trans thing, dude, I don't know. You know what I mean? Men transitioning to play women's sports. Okay, just in general, I don't know. Should a trans woman be able to compete in a women's division of UFC? I will say yes there, but there's a caveat to that. These guys are independent contractors. So if any lady says they don't want to fight this person, I ain't mad at them. You know what I mean? Like if they say they don't want to fight someone that transitioned from a male to a female, I get it.
And then you get no fights and you have to find something else to do.
That's fine. But if another woman signs on to fight a trans woman, okay, I have no issue with that. Both of them agreed to do it.
This all stems from that swimmer. And
well, there's been a lot of things. There's been some women that fight in the UFC before, trans women. So
as trans friendly as I am with my son and all that, I definitely 150% think they have a physiological advantage there.
I do.
And I'm really not for it.
I think it just depends so much on the particular case.
Well,
I think it has to be looked at as a case-by-case perspective almost because
you have to be taking female hormones for a designated period of time.
That's kind of my thing.
But what I'm saying is, if you've got this crazy muscle, and then you take the female hormones, you're still going to have a lot of that muscle. And
I guess I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I don't know how this works.
Well, the thing about it is that man who transitioned into a woman, that swimmer, won a few races, but lost a lot more. Mm-hmm. It's not like
there's I think
like
to be a girl come in there and really kick ass. You might have some girls win a competition here or there. You might have had a champion or two, but no one's like came out and really like broke the record books.
Right.
Where I really need to give a shit.
Well,
you know what I mean? Now are they saying in the future this happens more often?
That are showing it.
I'm not for the guy that all of a sudden puts on a wig and doesn't change anything else and plays women's sports. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like these people are looking for is that like someone that really breaks the barrier and you got fucking all of a sudden Tim Tebow putting on a wig and joining the WNBA or some dumb shit and they act like that's going to happen tomorrow. That's not the case with most of these. These are people that have been transitioning for years, not just so they could be better at fucking tennis.
Right.
You know, I mean, they transition because that's what they feel in their heart. And I've yet to see an example.
And they want to play a sport.
And I've yet to see an example where they pointed out someone that didn't do that. Every time I've looked into any of these kind of things, these are people that have been doing it for a while. It didn't look like they were just doing it to be better at whatever fucking dumb sport they're in. Right. I think these assholes think people are actually out there doing it, going through that much kind of chemical, all the pills you have to take, all the physical transformations you got to do, everything just to be better at a sport.
I guess the only thing that bothers me,
dumb male way to think about things anyway.
I agree. The fact that you have to be on estrogen for, I think it's 2 years, might even be 3.
Yeah.
And that does bring a lot of feminine qualities to you. Mm-hmm. But the only thing that bothers me about this whole fucking argument, me being trans has nothing to do with it. When little girls want to play sports with boys, if they're told no, it's a lawsuit.
Yeah.
My daughter wants to play baseball, not softball.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, what's the difference? You're hypocrites. You're making the boys play with the girls, but you're not allowing the girls to play with a trans girl.
Yeah.
You're fucking hypocrites. If your little daughter thinks she wants to be a wrestler and she's strong and you think she can compete, you're going to go to the fucking school board. You're going to get a lawyer. My daughter wants to be on that boy's team. And you're going to force it down our throats. So what's wrong with it going the other way?
And again, it's never the best athlete in the sport that's doing this.
No.
The star quarterback's all of a sudden not to become the star volleyball player.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's not the way this usually works. So to freak out and act like that's what's actually going on is just fucking dumb.
Because
it's
the one time there was actually a girl played college football. She was a kicker. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. She wants to play. The law says this, blah, blah, blah. She plays. Let's say hypothetically there's a bobbled snap and some fucking 300-pound guy just lays her out. He's labeled a shithead for the rest of his fucking life. Look what you did to that fucking girl, whether you like it or not. It's so fucking hypocritical the way these assholes are thinking.
Yeah, but that's also speaking in hypotheticals because it's never happened. But I don't know if I would label this guy as some horrible person. He tackled a football player. That's kind of what she signed up for.
But what I'm saying is, like there was in our school district, there's a girl that's a wrestler. She's in middle school, and her parents jumped through hoops so she could wrestle on the boys' team. Now, according to these fucking crazy people that are against the trans women doing this, they're like, she deserves every right. Well, why? She deserves every right too to play this sport. They're never the world champion. You know what I mean?
No,
you're not talking about fucking. Max Scherzer saying I'm trans now and I want to play on the female softball Olympic team. That doesn't happen that way.
This just seems like shit that politicians use to stir up everybody.
That's exactly what it is.
And you're falling into it if you fucking care that much.
And your point was exactly right with the UFC. If nobody wants to fight her, they don't fight her.
But that's anybody. You don't have to fight anybody in the UFC.
And that's why it's such a good point. But like if a trans woman goes to college and says, I want to play on the volleyball team. I happen to be 6'7", blah, blah, blah. The other teams are going to go, fuck this. That's not fair.
Well, if that happens, then it happens. But until that happens, I don't really give a shit. I don't like planning hypotheticals. I don't like going worst case scenario. If this happens, okay, well, we should just cancel everything.
Yeah.
Until it's a fucking issue, who gives a shit? And when it becomes an issue, address it as that issue, not as a whole thing. Who fucking knows? But,
I'm right there with you.
All right, fuck you, Vern. Next set. Get Pussy wrote in. We haven't heard him for a while. I love me some Get Pussy, but let's see if he has anything to say. Because let's admit it, towards the end of Get Pussy's reign as the champion of Shut Up Cincinnati, he kind of started to suck. And he knows that.
Quit drinking, dude.
Quit drinking. So let's see if he's back on his shit. What are your guys' thoughts on people that piss at urinals and pull their dicks out of the bottom of their shorts? I've never quite understood this one and think that people that do this are weird. And do you know anyone that personally that uses this method? Pulls it out the bottom of the shorts. I don't think I have the ability to do this unless I pulled my pants up real far. I wear longer shorts and I don't got a long dick.
You could hike the
maybe basketball shorts is fine, but I would never do it.
I would definitely not do it because I think there's a lot more room for error there. You're going to get pee on your leg.
That's
probably.
What I mean, yeah.
Pee on your shorts.
Yeah.
I'm not for it.
I think if you had like a giant dick, like a super long dick, maybe you could do that. But I mean,
you still have to hold it. So why not just pull it out the normal way and have control? You pull it out underneath, you don't have the control. You're going to pee on yourself.
Unless you got one of those super bendy dicks like Ryan does, apparently. He can turn corners if he wants it to. I agree with you. That's weird.
I think One Ball Rusty probably pees that way.
Who knows about old One Ball?
And I wouldn't be surprised if Harry guy peed that way.
We'll get to him. I'd like to take question number 2 and turn it into a fuck you to the group of people out there in the world that like to clog up gas station lines to cash in. What the fuck?
Lottery tickets.
Well, that's what it says, but it says Allingear. Dollar scratch off lottery tickets to turn in Powerball tickets where they tell the cashier all the numbers they want to play and they have to put them in manually. And if you're not playing, the $20 tickets are higher. Get the fuck out of the line and stop wasting everyone's life. I kind of agree with them there. I do hate that. I really hate that.
But that's why a lot of them have started putting in those lottery machines.
Lottery machines have been around for 20 years, and still some of them don't use that. And that's what drives me more crazy is because it's an option, like the self-checkout line, basically. You can do that, but you can also go to the fucking cashier, and these dumb cunts, because you have to be kind of a dumb cunt if you're doing this anyways, but these dumb cunts are doing it and clogging up the line because they don't want to use the machine. So fuck them. I agree with him.
I agree.
Yeah, fuck them. All right, have you guys ever intentionally ever eaten something spicy and then decided to munch on a girl's box to see what happens? No.
I've never done it intentionally, but I have done it.
Have you?
Well, me and a buddy here one time went out to dinner. We went to a Thai place. Yeah. Hotter than fuck. My mouth was on fire.
I didn't know you and Bud Eater were dinner types.
Every now and then, we're just buddies, really.
I know. Okay, go on.
So we went back. I think I met her there. We went and ate Thai food, and it was so fucking hot. And then we came back, and I ate her butt.
Mm-hmm. And did she notice?
Didn't seem to.
Okay. I
guess the capsaicin had worn off.
Nothing. If it ever happened, then I never knew it happened.
Yeah. I've never taken a jalapeno and shoved it in a hole or anything and said, "Hey, how'd that feel?"
Munched box and ate spicy things in the same night. But yeah, I've never, taken a fucking bite of Indian food and went, or it's still sitting in my mouth.
I think what he's saying is, hey, have you ever put a drop of ghost pepper fucking chili and then licked right away? No, I've never done that.
You ever a hot wing challenge while you're eating pussy? Like, no, we haven't.
You ever shove a flat in there and
the fuck is this guy up? All right. Additionally, the ferry boy needs a hobby and frankly a life. If I ever get the chance to take a trip to Barcelona or anywhere in Spain for that matter, I'm not spending 1 second of it in a basement playing steel-tipped darts, where the first prize is a measly 400 pounds. I'll be hanging out at the nude beach, doing pills in Ibiza, and getting fed green olives off the fucking branch. Regards, Get Pussy 69. For one thing, let's call him out real quick.
Okay.
Because didn't this cunt go to Barcelona for one day to see a soccer match?
Yeah.
You're telling me that's not as gay as
he
playing
flew
darts?
in and out the same day.
No, dude, that's just as bad.
Yeah.
That's just as dorky. Sorry to let you know there, Get Pussy. That is just as fucking dorky as darts.
I think it's dorkier.
Maybe.
Harry guy went for a week. He went to the nude beach. He went to some bars, and then he played his darts.
He definitely had some fun.
He had some fun while he was there.
Yeah.
So I'm saying you're dorkier than Harry guy.
I have, being friends with Harry guy on the old Facebooks, I have seen more pictures outside of the dart world than inside of the dart world. Thumbs up to Harry guy for that part of his dorky
This morning he perved me a picture of a woman on a nude beach.
I was going to get to that, but I think Harry Guy wins this one, bud.
I do too.
I think you should have
I don't even think
back.
it's close.
Even though I do kind of agree that it's crazy to go all the way to fucking Spain to play in a tournament where the first prize is only 400 pounds.
I don't. He got a free plane ticket. He paid for his hotel. That's a vacation to Europe, dude.
No, I get his part. But I don't think he's really part of the dart team, is he? I think it's just one dude.
Oh, he didn't even play?
I don't know. We'll ask him when he gets back.
No, they were in front of a banner, and he was on there.
Anyone could stand in front of a fucking banner. All right. Anyways, that Harry guy did write us in, though. And he's in Spain wasting his time writing us. So I do like that. I appreciate that. Shout out to you there, Harry guy. Now we're going to fucking rip on you, probably. Boys, I just listened to episode 170 of the Suck Podcast. I have some insight on this country that you'd only get if you were here. First off, and let's remind everybody, he's in fucking Spain when he's writing this. First off, the driving here is fucking terrible. You thought me wanting an Uber rider was bad? That isn't the half of it. You know these things called sidewalks? They don't exist here. You drive on that shit anytime you want. People just drive on sidewalks over there?
I don't know. I've never been there.
All right. And secondly, the stereotype that Spaniards have nice asses, myth busted. Latinos and Spaniards are not equal, and neither are the size of their rears. Asians, however, are just as beautiful as they are everywhere.
Well,
yeah, I guess Asians all look the same. And I don't really consider Mexicans and Spanish people to be the same thing. So, like you just said, Latinos and Spaniards are different. I never really thought of the Spanish culture having great
Latino
butts.
is South America.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I thought of them having awesome asses, but I didn't really thought of Europeans having nice asses.
The thing about it is no one loves to tee off on Harry Guy more than I do.
Oh, yeah.
Except he's my friend. Mm-hmm. Proud to say you're my friend. I like you. You're a nice guy. But you do dorky shit. But,
total nerd.
So he goes to Spain, which I'm all in favor for. Fucking Spain's supposed to be one of the coolest places on earth. Mm-hmm. He sends me a picture this morning. He's at the beach. There's a woman just hanging with her tits out, and he pervs her with a picture, which I appreciate. It's probably creepy on the beach, but I thank you for it.
Super creepy move.
But I thank you for it.
Yeah, that's a super creepy move.
Well, it is, but
he's taking nude pictures of a woman without asking on a beach that usually the rules on those beaches are no pictures. You know what I mean? That's usually the fucking rule because they don't want to. You want to go there and be free. You know?
I'm thinking that Harry Guy took that picture for me.
You think?
Yeah.
I think he has a Rolodex of those pictures, and he's going to go home and use them for his spank bank material for the next fucking 2 years, because it's not like he's going to see a regular pussy.
Yeah.
This is the best he's getting, man. In fact, he went all the way to Spain, and he obviously had some lap dances. It's expensive as fuck for a lap dance here. I did, however, rate the chicken tenders 6 out of 10, just so I could tell our best-known customer how they were. Which leads me to this. There are no craps tables in the casino. Hell, there's only continuous shuffle shoes here, and you don't actually handle chips. What the hell was this place? Insight for Chris. There are sex stores in broad daylight, as well as people walking around asking if you want to sniff coke with them. Jason might approve of that. No, I don't. I don't do drugs like that. Jesus Christ, I don't want to do no coke with a Spaniard. And by the way, I don't know if fucking hairy guys ever looked around. They got sex stores in America, and they're open during the daytime.
All over.
Broad daylight. You can go buy a fucking 10-inch black dildo right now.
Yeah.
Maybe not today. It's Sunday. They close for Jesus. But otherwise, they're open.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, they're probably a little bit. Danny Sontag was in England a couple weeks ago, and he sent me a picture of a sex shop.
Yeah.
When he was walking, and
maybe they're a little bit more out in the open. Like
it said for the bizarre and weird kind of thing on there,
Mm-hmm.
which right up my fucking alley. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're a creep.
I'm not a creep. I'm open-minded.
You're an 80s rapist.
I am.
Anyways, let's move on.
But hairy guy sends me this picture of the tits, and even if it is considered creepy, I thank you for it. I love nice little perky tits, probably a European gal, just got her phone over her shoulder, showing me her tits. And then he tells me that on their second night there, that the bartender at the bar roofied his buddy's wife.
Yeah, he's getting to that in the email.
Oh.
My friend's wife was roofied by a bartender, of which she came ultra aggressive and tried to kill him, and another girl was asked by a creep if he could buy her. It's only day 4 out of 12. The darts officially start today. And that was it. That's all he wrote. But yeah, apparently his friend was roofied, and she tried to kill the...
Why would a bartender roofie you? He can't fuck you. He's working.
Maybe the friend roofied.
Maybe a customer standing at the bar roofied.
Yeah, my friend's wife. Why would you roofie your wife? That'd be dumb.
Yeah, and why would a bartender do it? You're behind the bar.
Yeah, I don't really get that either.
Fellas, if you're going to roofie somebody, plan on fucking... Oh, wait a second.
Hey, Dr. Fitnall said...
But that's the thing about traveling. You don't know what kind of shit goes on in these other places. I mean, maybe it's not an actual roof and all, because the roof and all that I've heard of pretty much makes a woman pass out.
I have been drugged once, and I don't know what... The only time I've ever been drugged, as far as I know, and it was out of a joint, so I don't know what exactly it was, but I hit a joint with a stranger at Riverbend, and I don't really remember about an hour after that, but after that I remember it, but I remember not having control of my body, and I would just fall randomly.
My bet it was ketamine.
Who knows what it was? It was a great time.
Ketamine was a big thing that they were lacing weed with.
That might have been it. I've done ketamine. I've snorted ketamine on its own.
It's a tranquilizer. I mean,
yeah, it was a lot like a really heavy painkiller that hit you really fast.
Kind of sounds like that's what you had.
Yeah, but that's not how I compare to that situation. But I was also drinking and everything else that night, so who fucking knows? But that was the only time I've been drugged unknowingly. Because there was no way. If I remember right, I had 4 beers that night and then regular weed, which that doesn't affect me. 4 beers and some weed is not going to make me pass out and flop around like a nut. So I was definitely drugged. Who knows what it was? Me and my girlfriend at the time were drugged. Didn't work out though. But we did get...
But that guy was smoking the same weed.
She did get aggressive.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Me and her got in a big fight. And then my crazy friend that burnt the cross upside down in him, I let him drive me home, which is fucking absolutely hilarious because he didn't have a license because he had like 9 DUIs. He was shit canned. I remember being on the drive home completely out of my mind just laughing as he's swerving all over these fucking back roads going about 85 in my fucking parents' Impala. I'm glad I'm alive.
I don't think I've ever been drugged.
Yeah, it was a great time. But I'm a guy. No one tried to touch my butthole or anything, so it worked out well.
Let's get to the second part of that fucking letter. The guy said, "Can I buy you?"
I could say that to someone though, just in passing. So don't
maybe, with the language barrier, or is a way of him thinking she was a hooker and saying,
maybe
"Hey,
that,
you know what I mean?"
Maybe buy you a drink and just the language barrier.
Can I buy you? Up. Like, hey, can I fuck you?
Can I buy you?
Who knows?
I like that part there. But again, I could see myself being drunk in a bar, just fucking around with someone that came in from a foreign country. I'm like, hey, can I buy you? Just fucking around.
Who knows?
So
some girl from a foreign country comes over here that, and I try to say in her language something like, hey, are you a hooker? Might sound weirder than that. I don't know how to speak.
I
Speak their
apparently
fucking
have
language.
some kind of weird something in me because I had a dream the other night that I murdered a family. Yeah, no, you're going to give me that look right off the bat. Now, let me put it in a little bit of a... let me give this a little bit of backstory. I had recently read a book, right, about a cult. And what they would do, they started out, their whole belief is that sickness brings out honesty. That really bad shit brings out honesty in you. So the cult would take chemo. They'd kill themselves basically with chemo. They didn't have anything wrong with them, but they would all get on chemo to the point of they've almost died just puking constantly, and that made them the most pure and brought out their honesty or whatever. And then one of the cult members decided that a good way to also do this would basically go to these families' houses. They called it like the Great Awakening, where once every so often they go to a family's house and kill all the family members besides one, leave them alive. And that gives that fucking family member complete freedom and a new start. Obviously crazy, but I had just read the book, and then I had a fucking dream that night that I was part of this cult. And I remember going into this house with these 4 strangers, yes. And I remember them going straight to go kill the kids, and me going, well, I'm not killing kids, so I went the other way.
And killed the parents?
Yes. And I went for the mom and dad and went to go kill them. Now, one of the kids lived, and I remember having this. It's such a fucked up
So now
dream.
that kid's got total freedom
Yeah,
to
well,
go to foster care and not be able to support himself and to go live with a strange family
Hey,
and
man,
be in the
I
system.
didn't say I supported the book. It was just I just read the book, so it was in my mind, obviously.
Yeah.
And it was the weirdest fucking dream because I remember.
Did you shoot them?
No, stab. I remember stabbing, and you know those weird dreams where you're
Yeah.
fucking in fights or stabbing people, and like it doesn't really hurt them, but it does, and then they're dead, but then they're not. Who knows? You know, everybody gets those dreams, right? You never had a murder dream?
No.
You've never killed anyone in your dreams?
No.
I've never killed anyone in my dreams until this dream. Like
Well,
that.
then why is it so surprising that I've never had
But I've
one?
had fights and like stabs and shots and stuff like that, but I've
don't
never.
know.
But they always result in nothing.
I've
Like
had
I'll have dreams where I need to shoot a gun and my gun don't shoot. That happens a lot.
I've had dreams where it's happened to me,
Yeah,
where I was being,
I've had those too.
but I've never had one where I was doing it. To somebody
You've
else.
never had a dream where you
Never.
shot or stabbed or even
No.
beat someone up?
No,
You've never had a beat up dream?
only me getting beat up.
Really?
I've never had a violent dream. No,
Are you a pussy in your subconscious?
no,
Because I take control of my subconscious, obviously, and I'm out there murdering
I'm not a
motherfuckers.
pussy. I just
I find that weird. Now, I did find it super weird on myself to have that dream, and I based it based on the fact that I read these books right before I go to sleep, and I read it 2 weeks in a row, and then eventually I had a dream that somehow got in there. So I don't consider myself a full psycho for it, but I feel a little different after having that dream. I've never killed anyone in my dreams before, but
Well-
I've had plenty of dreams where there's been gunfights or knife fights, and I imagine just from watching violent television and stuff.
well, yeah, and that's all around.
And
but
it's always, though, in my dreams, it's always you can't pull the trigger. I can never do it. And not that I don't want to, it's just like the gun just don't work all of a sudden and they shoot me, or the knife, I stab them but it doesn't even hurt and then they get me, like shit like that.
yeah, I've just never had one where I was attacking somebody.
Well, you're missing out, bud. Those are some fun dreams.
I think I'd wake up in a cold sweat.
This one scared me. It was weird. I woke up
Yeah.
weird because, like I said, the dream ended with killing them, and then I remember leaving and seeing the one kid left alone at the front door, just like looking at us in horror as we left. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's not only very cinematic, so I must have had some great weed that night, but
Sounds like a movie.
yes, is why I get a lot of very cinematic movie type dreams.
Maybe you missed your calling there, bud.
About what?
Making movies.
Nah, fuck that, man. That's a lot of work.
You'd be like Rob Zombie.
You gotta talk to Mexicans. It's just not worth it. All right, you got a would you rather or a the other one that we do?
The name your price I
All right,
have,
let's go.
yes.
Name your price.
I've got to name your price. And this is, I got this from, I was watching TV yesterday, and I got this from there.
Mm-hmm.
It was YouTube, I think. I don't know if you've ever even heard of this guy. I don't remember his name. This dude travels around the world capturing the most painful bites and stings in the world,
I've
and
heard
then
it. I
gets
have-
himself bitten.
I have seen that.
His name's like Wolf something.
Yeah, I've seen this guy.
So basically, hey, I've got I've got this fucking giant wasp,
Mm-hmm.
and he traps it. He goes across the fucking world where these things are. He catches it.
like the
then he
world's most
fucking-
painful.
Yeah, the top 10 most painful.
He's good at the reactions too.
Yeah, but it's like the number one. The number two was like a bullet ant.
Yeah, I know. I
Okay?
watched that
And,
episode, I think.
But he's got these little tweezers, sting me. And then he just fucking hits the ground every time. Oh, just fucking screaming like a bitch.
Do you think he ever reacts? I'm sure it hurts.
No.
Don't get me wrong, but I mean, you have to be. You're putting on a show, obviously. Like,
Yeah,
if this guy just took it and would like stoically just stood there, I don't think I would like it as much. But the fact that he's like, this is the worst.
Well, no, because they generally show it, and it's usually starting to bubble up already, and it's fucking red and.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I know it hurts bad.
Yeah. My
I
whole
wonder
question
if he
is
still overreacts too, because for cinema, for the fact that you're doing for
probably,
drama.
but I would think like the most painful one was some type of hornet. It was a giant hornet, whatever. And this thing was this fucking big, dude, and its stinger like this long. And
I wish that Juggalo did it.
he's just standing there fucking, sting me. And then when it does, and I'm sitting there thinking, fuck that.
Yeah, I love this guy.
My question is the top 10 most
Forgot he
painful
existed.
insect
Thank you.
stings. You have to do them all. Name your price.
Ooh, the top 10 painful. I'm not allergic to any of them. Like, it's not going to kill me.
No, just going to hurt like a motherfucker.
10,000.
10,000 to do all 10.
Yeah, I think so. That seems fair. That's going to hurt like a motherfucker. It's not life-changing or anything, though. So, yeah, 10,000. I'm allergic to bees. So if you're going to tell me sting me with bees.
No.
Like,
This is something that he got stung by all
trying
of
to
these.
die,
He didn't say anything about allergies. And if there were, in your case, hypothetically, it wouldn't be. But see, I think I'd ask for more than that.
I would like more than that. But I mean, I think if push came to shove, that's what it would take. Now,
See, I'm going to double it. I'm going to say 20 grand. You can $2,000 a sting.
okay.
Because from what this guy said, like the top 10 list, some of these will hurt for days.
Yeah,
This is going to hurt for about 3 or 4 fucking days.
that part sucks.
Because, even though you're not going to die from the poison, there's still venom in it and it's still working through your system. And I'm thinking it's not going to be like, oh, you bit me, 5 minutes later, you're fine.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt. It's going to at least fuck up your whole day.
Yeah.
If not a couple days afterwards. So I'm going to say 2,000 a sting. I'm going 20 grand.
I get it. I would probably do it for 10. Maybe negotiate per sting. Depending on the sting. You talk about a couple days and all of a sudden $1,000 don't sound cool. If you just tell me it's going to hurt like a motherfucker gone in an hour, $1,000, sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Per sting. But yeah, if this is something that
Gone in an hour. But
like horrible pain for 4 days, all right, we are going to have to talk about it a little bit more.
yeah, like I'd have
to do my research.
He got bit by this one fucking spider.
Yeah.
And he said going into it, it's going to hurt for about 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, fuck that.
Like throbbing and all that. I'm like, that's worth more than 1,000.
Yeah, that'd be awful. Don't you wish though it wasn't that guy and it was that Juggalo that jumps from the fucking chair to they go fuck this shit.
Yeah,
That
fuck this shit. That little clip you sent me, I swear to God, that one little fucking retarded looking old man going around. You could staple dollars to his chest.
The Juggalos.
Yeah, and if you wanted to do the head or face, it had to be a 5. And the guy literally took $1, put it on his chest, and went, and he went,
Wow.
that don't hurt me, man. You can do my head for 5. And I'm like, geez, these people are fucking nuts. And watching that Juggalo thing, it's like, because we work with a kid who is a self-claimed Juggalo.
Should we have him on?
Yeah.
Do we have Juggalo Josh on?
We should, because he's been to the fucking gathering.
We've been to him a few times. Well, and he's a rapper or whatever, so we might want to promote his shit.
I think we should have him on.
I don't know.
I think we should
I
talk.
personally don't know the guy. I passed him a couple times. We say hi to each other. I have no issue one way or the other. I don't know him.
I think he would come on the show and give us a full rundown of what it's like to be at the gathering.
Questions.
I do too.
I got questions, all right? But I've always wanted to go.
I've always wanted to go just to see
people that don't know what we're talking about. I throw out the Juggalo term a lot because I grew up around the ICP and I was a fan for a little bit, so I understand what a Juggalo is. But a lot of people, you throw out Juggalo, they don't know what we're talking about. These are people that follow ICP, the Insane Clown Posse, this rap group out of Detroit that wear clown makeup. They had 6 albums. This is when it started.
All white guys.
And at the 6th album, like the world was supposed to end, they had this whole fucking system. And then, of course, it didn't happen. And now they still do shit, but not as much as they used to. Because I think Violent J, one of them, is like having heart attacks and shit because he's a big fatty with diabetes.
Yeah.
But they're still out there. They still show up every once in a while. And they still do the Gathering of the Juggalos every year, which is a meeting usually in Michigan or Ohio. It's been in Ohio the last few years. and where people basically mostly the Midwest, but all around the country, probably
all around the world.
Probably all around the world, the juggalos come out, they gather, and they have this big festival where there's a bunch of the music that plays. I believe Josh has played at one of those. I think he did some rapping at one of them. And then obviously ICP headlines probably each night and does a different set.
And they just spend a week doing drugs
and like I said,
being fucking weird as fuck.
I was a fan of ICP as a 16-year-old white boy from the suburbs. I thought they were funny, and they are funny. If you listen to the lyrics, they're fucking hilarious. It's just corny rap music, but the lyrics are hilarious.
Yeah.
I went to a lot of their shows during that period of time, and the fandom of that band is ridiculous. You mean the hardcore fans, where their merchandise, I remember they sold a hockey jersey for like $150, and that shit would sell out every fucking concert. You'd have all these people in their ICP hockey jerseys. They have Faygo Pop is their big thing.
That's their thing.
And I don't know if that's from their area or something, but it's basically poor people pop back in the day. And during their concerts, they spray it the whole time. You don't leave an ICP show without being drenched in soda. Yeah. It fucking sucks.
The guys walk around the thing with pumps and they just hose people down.
But these kids would be just buying shitloads of Faygo. They'd have before the show, they'd be all out in the waiting to get in, just pounding Faygo with their fucking stupid clown makeup on and shit. But they are so into being juggalos. And then they go to this festival and really let loose among each other.
Drugs like you ain't never fucking seen in your life. Apparently, the big drug is whippets.
Yeah, whippets and crystal meth probably in
meth,
that group.
But
I'm sure you can get anything, weed, weed's just everybody, so that's not a big deal. But
they interviewed the one guy that said he buys a pound and he rolls 1,000 joints and he sells $2 joints the whole time he's there.
Good businessman right there. All right,
but
$2 is
these people, and I'm not meaning to insult anybody, but if you just look at it from the outside point, you're going to say these are the white trashiest hillbillies you ever laid eyes on.
By far. And you know what? And I'm not going to kid myself and say that when they go to these juggalo conventions and they're filming these documentaries, they're not getting the weirdest of the weird in order, to make their video better. But they're all kind of weird.
Yeah.
And I'm sure even Josh is probably kind of weird. But hey,
the one thing I like about it,
kind of fucking weird, so who am I to judge?
Apparently it's a thing at the gathering of the Juggalos. Mm-hmm. Show me your butthole.
Well, I think the Show Me Your Tits is, and that one guy was really into Show Me Your Butthole.
No, the last one we watched at the cabin, there was a tent set up. Show me your butthole.
Oh, you got a butthole tent.
Yeah. Just walk up and show them your asshole. But I mean, it's all about doing drugs.
These are my people without being my people.
But these guys are like, these are the guys, in case you're wondering who they are, they're the guys that will meet you in the middle of any mosh pit. These are the fucking guys that kind of look like neo-Nazis sometimes. They kind of do.
I don't know about that.
They
just look like white people. So any white people can look like neo-Nazis at any point or another.
They're all on fucking drugs, and they're all crazy.
Hey, believe me, if you ask any black person, we all look like neo-Nazis. And
probably.
It's the same probably what the Jewish people do. But yeah, the bottom line is they're all fucking nuts.
And they all express it as, this is all family. We're all one big happy family. You're safe here. They're accepted here. I guarantee there's 1,000 fights at those fucking things. And that's one thing I'd like to get him
those are the kind of people that want to fight, right?
Yeah.
Those are the trash balls. Like that's
why we got to have him.
They're probably good
show.
At fighting. I wouldn't want to fuck with a pack of juggalos.
I wouldn't either.
And they've actually got like FBI warnings at one point or another. They were putting out like things saying that juggalos are an actual gang and to be on the watch out for them and shit like that.
Well, it's like you got all these fat girls walking around with
no clothes on. Juggalettes are the worst.
Everybody walks around naked.
They're juggalettes.
Yeah, but I mean, girls walk around naked.
Yeah.
And the girls say, yeah, I'm naked. But these guys, out of respect for family, no one's looking. Well, no one's looking because you're fat.
I'm looking to laugh, but that's it. Just like if I was walking around naked, how'd you laugh at me? I'm laughing at your fucking flabby ass.
The one guy they were interviewing, standing there butt naked, big fat dude. Mm-hmm. He's like, hey, girls, who needs some cock? He said, it might not look like much, but it's going to fucking hurt. And I'm sitting there going, and the guy next to him goes, whoop, whoop. That's the big thing, whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
And this guy had a fucking mask on. He goes, hey, what are you guys interviewing? What are you guys all about? I'm into finger banging chicks and fucking sluts, and I'm going to fuck your girlfriend.
They're the best, man.
They're nuts, man.
Just go to YouTube, look up Juggalo videos. You can look all night and enjoy yourself.
We got to have him on.
Have yourself a nice bourbon, have yourself a nice smoke, watch Juggalo videos for hours. It's worth it.
I want him to tell me.
Who cares about the music? You don't even have to listen to music half the time.
I want him to tell me about the average day from the time you wake up at the gathering of the Juggalos to the time you go to bed. I want to hear about that whole fucking day.
The bottom line is we need to go. We just need to bite the bullet and go to a gathering one of these days. I mean, we really should. Maybe get some other people to join us. Maybe get with Josh. He knows the ins and outs of the Juggalo community.
He'd fit us right in.
We can get some travel mics, go up there, and we can do our own little documentary.
We can do an interview. Yeah, they'll all be willing to talk to you.
It's fun. Who gives a shit if it sucks or don't suck? It'd be fun regardless. I'm personally a little afraid. I almost want to poke my bill.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to watch from a distance. You know what I mean? I don't know if I want to watch. I don't know if I want my tent to be in the middle of the fucking show your butthole tent.
I want to be near the show me your butthole.
You're right. If I had a tent, I would put it near the show me your butthole. Just for giggles.
All the people that I see in those videos,
I don't want to see any of their buttholes.
The girls, my God.
I'm lying again. I will look at anyone's butthole for science.
Yeah.
So
I think we should go.
Yeah,
I think, but I do want to have Josh on. Josh, if you happen to listen, and I know a lot of your friends do, we want to have you as a guest. I want to hear about what it's like to be there.
Yeah, I need Juggalo. More Juggalos in my life.
Yeah.
But they scared the shit out of me at the same time.
But at the same time, the stuff that comes out of their mouth just makes me fucking laugh. That little dude that was sucking on the whippets.
He had so many whippets.
He went, ooh, that was a big one.
Dude, that guy's not going to be able to carry a conversation for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks after that. He's like, dude, be the dumbest guy ever.
You only live once, so do lots of whippets. Oh, and drive. Do whippets and drive.
Don't do whippets and drive, guys. I've never done a whippet, honestly.
I have.
Which is funny for me because there was whippets were in the heroin and crack thing for me, and it's because I had heard that they kill brain cells like right away, and I'm not interested in that.
Well, I did them. They used to sell them at adult bookstores.
I like that long-term brain killing like weed. I can't handle the short-term brain killing.
Supposedly a whippet is just the whipped cream can times 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
I did it like twice, and both times it gave me a raging fucking headache.
Yeah.
So I won't do it anymore.
I think that's because your brain cells are actually dying.
Yeah.
So I'll hard pass on that. You got to fuck you this week?
Yeah. Fuck yeah, I do.
Yeah, you do. You always got
Fuck
one.
yes.
I can always rely on you to end this show this way.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Fuck you.
My fuck you goes out to Sean G. I think his name is.
Is that our tax guy?
No, that's Sean W.
Matter.
Sean G. I'm out the other day and I'm door dashing. Okay, fucking door dashing, just minding my own fucking business. Did it for like 6 hours that day. So I'm out there. I get a call. Go to Wingstop. Pick up an order for Josh G. or Sean G. I go to Wingstop. It's closed. Nobody in there. Lights off. Everything. So I get on the app and I say, store's closed. At that point, they say, are you confirming the store is closed? I'm like, yeah, store's closed. This guy fucking sends me a text message ripping me. Where's my fucking food, dude? And I'm like, the store's closed. You want me to break in and make you some wings?
You should have.
Really?
No.
But this guy's actually mad at me that the store was fucking closed. Because I sent him a message. The store's closed.
Did you write back?
Yeah.
You said that?
I said, the store is fucking closed.
Did he respond?
Yeah.
What?
He goes, bullshit. You just don't want to bring me my food.
Why?
I'm like, the store is closed.
Why would
There's
I
nobody here. Yeah, I don't want to make money. That's why I'm out here. He goes, that's bullshit, man. Bring me my food.
I didn't know they could still message you after you canceled.
I messaged them.
Oh, I don't even do that.
I did the messages with him before I canceled.
You're being too nice.
Well, I cussed at him.
Well, no, but I mean, you shouldn't never even had the conversation.
Oh.
If you just canceled the order, they can't get a hold of you.
Oh, I should have just done that.
That's all.
I'll do that in the
I don't
future.
waste
But
my
either
time with
way,
these
Sean
fucking
G,
people.
fuck you.
Yeah, Sean G, fuck you. Hey, my fuck you goes out to Quan, man. Fucking Quan. So I picked up Levanta last night in my Uber. All right, Levanta was, there's a ghetto and I don't know where, maybe somewhere on the west side, Westwood maybe.
Yeah.
You know where Baltimore is? That
Baltimore,
road?
yeah.
And then
Rough.
it goes up and
To
it's
McHenry.
Oh yeah, that area. I don't know what that's called.
Baltimore and McHenry. It's rough.
Looks a little bad. I ain't gonna
Big drug place.
Don't want to be too judgmental, but that looks scary. All right, so I picked up.
I used to deliver those corner markets there.
Oh, yeah. Well, I picked up Levanta over there, and she gets back in the back of my car. Levanta, sweetheart, got no issues with her. She's a little pregnant, look like, but still wearing a belly shirt. So I take her to another one of the worst ghettos probably in this area over in Covington. I think it's called like City View, where they're shutting it down actually. When we got there, it looked like a fucking ghost town. She even said that, ooh, ghost town here. And every building was vacant. There's only like 3 buildings that still have people and they're shutting them all down. I read about this place a while ago. Apparently it's like the #1 killing area in all of the tri-state. Well, now it's gone. So I'm taking Levanta there and she's on the phone with her friend and fucking cracking me up. She's waiting for... what was his name? There was Laquez. That was what Laquez is her baby's daddy. Laquez is in jail. Laquez is getting out soon. He wants to get the family together, but she's pregnant with Quan's kid. Now, Laquez finds out that Quan stretched her. Quez is gonna fuck up Quan. So
Stretched her.
So my fuck you goes out to Quan for stretching my girl Levanta. All right, because Quez is gonna get out of jail, and Quez is gonna fuck you up for stretching out that pussy. Now, it's one thing to get her pregnant. Apparently, Quez was cool with her being pregnant with fucking Quan. But if he finds out that pussy's stretched, they have to have at it. This just can't be something that Quez lets go.
My money's on Quez.
He's trying to live the straight life, Chris. He's trying to get his shit together. He's going to get a job
Now,
when he gets out. Huh?
Who's in jail?
Quez.
Quez
in jail. I don't know what Quez is in jail for. That wasn't mentioned, and I wasn't going to ask. But Quez is in jail. Quez getting out of jail. He wants to get the family back together because this is one of her kids' is mom, dad, kid, whatever. And Quan's up in that pussy right now. In fact, Quan was coming over that night to get up in that pussy, but Quez probably don't know that. But Quan already been up in that pussy, and Quan got her pregnant. Quez is cool with that. It's fine. Another kid, no big deal. But Quan better not have stretched that pussy out. If so, they got to get down in the streets.
Do you think maybe they're talking about stretching the belly as it grows?
I don't think he gives a fuck about that belly. I think he cares about that pussy, and the way she was talking about it sounded like pussy.
So your fuck you is Quan.
Fuck you, Quan. Don't be stretching out fucking my girl Levante's puss.
If Levantes wasn't pregnant, would you have stretched it?
No, she was not attractive at
She
all.
wasn't attractive?
No, she was not attractive at all. No, not at all, dude. Total trash. The whole time she's talking about getting her fucking tax return back and how she needed a car, but she was going to go out and get her nails and her hair and her feet and some new shoes and a new outfit for her sister Latanta or some shit like that. And I'm just thinking the whole time, she obviously has like 3 or 4 kids with like 3 or 4 different dads. And I seen where I picked them up and where I dropped them off. That's all government housing. So she's on, you know what I mean? And this is what she's spending her money on. I don't want to be too judgmental, and I ain't going to put race anywhere in this because that has nothing involved. But this person was trash. All right. But her story was hilarious, and I loved it.
I love those kind of stories.
Yeah, so fuck you, Quan. Don't be stretching out that puss. She was a sweetheart to me, and that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
So until next time, don't be stretching out Latanta's fucking cunt, Quan.
Latanta was your sister. You really fucked that up.
Please subscribe and share. Well, you can count